Hi everyone, welcome to my first Fallout 4 YouTube video. In today's video we're going to have a look at my ammunition factory, which is inside Vault 88 itself. I wanted to make sure that the factory worked really well with Vault 88 and everything snapped in. As you can see, there's no power to any part of the factory at the moment. Once we flip the main switch, that will turn all the power on to the elevator, the logic gates, any of the switches, etc. So the factory is ready to be used. We have a purge switch and a weapon press switch, which we'll get into in a little while. First of all, what we need to do is load the chest with any materials. I have preloaded some already, just add some more there. And then once we switch the sorter on, that'll activate the vacuum hop, and it will start to sort out the components from there. So in the first component sorter, that will sort out whether or not it wants to, the item can be used to make ammunition. If not, it will send it all the way around the back and then into the storage container at the bottom, where I can scrap the item or use it for something else. Anything else that can be used for ammunition will go up the elevator. So if we go up to the top, into 4.3 even, we can see exactly what's happening. Everything's coming through and it's going through the various sorters. We'll just take a little rest and wait for it to catch up. Takes about an hour or so due to the amount of stuff that's in it. Okay, so now if we have a little look. Okay, we can see that this one's collecting plastic. There is none at the moment, but it will definitely collect some very shortly. It's also collecting steel over on the left hand side here, so any steel will just fall into that hopper. Over at the first hopper we've got oil, then we've got lead, then we've got fertilizer, and then we've got copper, and those will just fall into the respective hoppers waiting for us to do something with them. So we'll just take the elevator back down to the first floor again. So here we can see the final items going through, ready to be sorted. You can see the trunks now emptied, and any of our waste products has ended up in this storage unit just here. Just quickly nip back up to the third floor again, just to make sure that everything's gone through correctly. Yeah, there we can see the final few items going through. I have speeded this up just to make it a little bit easier on you guys. Okay, so back down to the first floor. We can see at the moment none of the switches are activated, and that's because our weapons press is not turned on. These switches do require both the sorter and weapon press to be on in order for them to work properly. So if we turn on our weapons press, we can see here it's activated the corresponding logic gates. I will do a separate guide on the logic gates if people want that. But the way I've got this set up is if we turn on the purge at the same time as the weapons press, it won't like that. So it will turn both lines off. Obviously you don't want to be trying to press weapons at the same time as you're purging the items out of the system. So it will only work when either one of those switches are on. So we'll turn purge off for now, and we can see that the weapon press is now activated. That's all ready to go. So we just need to come over and select which ammunition it is that we're going to be building today. We're just going to go for 308 rounds, I believe. Excellent, so we need 1 copper, 1 lead and 1 fertilizer for this to work. So when we go over to the corresponding switch over on the wall there, we need to just switch that switch on, and that should just activate those 3 hoppers. So let's give it a go. It looks a bit like Spaghetti Junction. I've not been able to get that to work any better at the moment, but we will keep trying. So if we go to floor 2 this time, We can see here that only the 3 hoppers are open, and that is the copper, lead, fertilizer, and then lead. And then the other hoppers are open, so that's all going to drop through quite nicely. It will go all the way around through to the back where the weapons press is.
Too long since I
Just like that. All being well, there we go. We can see our first round starting to drop, which is fantastic. We go all the way to the first floor again. We're going to be able to have a look at those coming through. It is a little bit laggy. I've got some frame rate issues, to be fair, due to the amount of stuff that's in the vault. I will do a complete vault tour in a future video as well. So we can see that that's going through the laser tripwire, which will activate our counter, which we'll see in a little bit. So there we go. Okay, so now we've collected enough ammunition, we can turn off our weapon press. You'll see here, showing that we've got 16 collected. I don't think that's quite right. I think that that's messed up somewhere along the line, because it's showing that I've only got 60 shells, so who knows, I'll have to correct that. But you get the whole gist of it, I guess. So we'll just go and collect these stray rounds here. Make sure there's no more. Excellent news. Good, good. Like them. So go up to the second floor. Okay, so we're finished pressing our weapons. Now, as you can see, there's still quite a lot of materials that's still within the ammunition plant, and those would just go to waste, you know. Maybe for the case of a pencil, we've taken the lead, but obviously we need to be taking the wood out of that. That's still material that we could be using for something else, whether that's building or something else. So how we can do that, as you can see, those switches are turned off because our weapon press is turned off. So we'll go ahead, we'll turn the purge on. That will start sucking everything out of that weapons press and start to recycle it. As you can see, the weapon press is off, so if we was to turn that on, that will automatically turn our purge off. As I mentioned before, you can't have both those switches on at the same time. So we turn that off, and as you can see, the purge is turned back on. We go back up to the second floor here. We can just see everything's getting sucked out of that ammunition press at the bottom there, and it's coming along, and it's dropping down. Well, it's not perfect. One or two things may drop on the floor, but most of the stuff goes around, and then it goes back up into the lift if it can be reused, and it goes back into those hoppers. If it can't be reused, it will go all the way around the back and back into our storage container. Obviously, if we was to turn off our sorter, I've got it set so that the purge was to turn off as well. There's no point at just feeding through and dropping down onto there and making a mess. You have to have both the sorter and the purge on in order for the purge to work correctly. The weapon press, however, just to let you know, that will work without the sorter. It doesn't need that, it's a separate power. So, cool, we'll just go ahead, we'll let this purge run for a little minute. We're about to get hit in the head by a flying piece of copper. Ah! Where did that go wrong? Yeah, like I say, it's not perfect, but you know, it's pretty darn good, I think, anyway. Don't want to blow my own trumpet. Hopefully you guys will like it too. So what we'll do here is we'll take everything out of the component storage that we didn't need. I just cheekily went and put in a weapons workbench because I forgot to put one in. So in here we can just dump everything in here and that will go straight into our workbench, save having to cart it through the entire vault. There we go, we can turn the purge system off. Turn the sorter off. Go back up to floor 2, we can see here everything's all turned off. Yeah, so that's my vault. Hopefully you like it. Let me know what you think. Thanks.